We conducted a phase 2 trial in immunocompromised patient with parainfluenza lower respiratory tract infection, patient who needed either supplemental oxygen or non-invasive positive pressure devices like BiPAP, or patient on mechanical ventilation. So these patients were enrolled into the trial. We had 111 patients randomized to the drug, but on the modified intent to treat analysis, 109 patients were analyzed. The drug did not meet the primary endpoint of clinical stability survival rate at day 45, but we learned a lot from this trial. And what we learned is that not every patient need to be treated for parainfluenza, mainly high-risk patients. When we did the subgroup analysis, we found that stem cell transplant patients, within a year of their transplant, DAS181 worked much better than placebo compared to patient anytime after transplant or more than 1 year after transplant. So these are the patients who are usually sick patients or still immunocompromised patients who needed to be treated, and we saw the antiviral effect in this kind of patient population. But also what we learned from this trial is the primary endpoint the right one in this patient population? When you measuring clinical stability and survival at day 45, where we know within 45 days, these patients can have many other complications and may die from any other causes. So in the phase 3 trial that we're gonna get started probably by early next year, the primary endpoint that is in the work with the FDA gonna be percentage of patients returning to room air during the observational period. So if they done with the study medication, they return to room air, if they stay off oxygen up to day 28, then they will be considered a success. So because when we did a post hoc analysis of the phase 2 data, we found that this primary endpoint of return to room air is probably the significant one where we saw a trend and a antiviral effect in the subgroup analysis or as post hoc analysis in this patient population. I would say we're learning a lot about phase 2 and phase 3 trial for respiratory viruses in immunocompromised patients. It is a new field. There's not much of data out there. We are learning from the phase 2 trial, and we try to apply what we learn regarding either primary endpoint, the study population, the inclusion criteria, in order to show if there is an antiviral effect and if the drug it's working in this patient. But you have to have the right design and the right primary endpoint and the right patient population. So we learned a lot from this trial as well as from other phase 2 trial and different respiratory viruses. Could be RSV or even influenza. And we try to apply the knowledge for the phase 3 trial.